Hello, dears. I hope you are well and in good health. This is Miss Marianne here, and we will study science together. Okay, and now let's start. In this term, you have two units. Unit number one is talk about matter, and this unit is classified into four lessons. Lesson number one is talk about measuring tools. Okay. Now, let's talk about everything around us. Everything around us that you can feel it, you can smell it, you can hear it, you can see it is called matter. Is called matter. So, everything around us is called matter. Matter is everything or anything around us that has mass and volume. So, the pen is matter, the book is matter, the door is matter, even you are matter. Everything around us that has mass and volume is called matter. Now, let's know what's meaning of mass or the volume. Okay, mass is the amount of matter in an object. So what's meaning of this? Look at this picture. You can see books. The amount of the paper inside the book is called the mass of the book. Again, the amount of the paper inside the book is called the mass of the book. So, mass is the amount of matter in an object. Again, mass is the amount of matter in an object. And now let's talk about volume. Volume is the space occupied by an object. What's meaning of this? Look at this picture. You can see a pen on a table. Okay, the space or the place which the pen takes from the table is called volume. Is called volume. So, the space that the pen occupies on the table is called the volume of the pen. So, volume is the space occupied by an object. Okay, and now let's define the matter. Another definition. We said that matter is everything or anything around us that has mass and volume. Matter also is everything around us that has mass and occupy the space. Occupy the space is mean volume. So everything around us that has mass and volume is called matter. Is called matter. Okay. And now let's talk about how to measure the mass or to measure the volume. Okay. To measure the mass, we can use common balance and sensitive balance. Common balance, we can use it to measure the mass of vegetables, fruits, or the large masses. Again, common balance is used to measure the mass of large objects, okay, like vegetables, like fruits, okay. The device number two or the tool number two is a sensitive balance. Again, sensitive balance. Sensitive balance is used to measure the small masses. Small masses like gold and silver. Okay, so I have two tools to measure the mass. Common balance to measure the large masses like vegetables or fruit, and number two, sensitive balance to measure the small masses like gold and silver. Okay, and now let's talk about the measuring tools of length. Okay, I can use two tools to measure the length. I can use the ruler to measure the small lengths like book, like phone, any small object. I can use the ruler to measure its length. Number two, I can use graduated tape. This is a graduated tape. I can use graduated tape to measure the large lengths. Large lengths like doors, like table, like window, like wall, any large object I can use graduated tape. Number 3, let's talk about the measuring tools of the volume. I can use two tools to measure the volume. If I have a regular object, I can use ruler. I can use ruler and I can measure the volume by the law. This is the law. I can measure the volume equal length times width times height. This is length, is width, and this is height. I can measure the volume of the regular solid body by length times width times height, like book, like cube. Okay. Number 2, I can use graduated cylinder to measure the volume of a regular body. A regular body like stone, like ball, any irregular body, I can't use roller. So I will use graduated cylinder. And the law of measuring volume will be volume equal V2 minus V1. V2 is the volume of the water inside the cylinder and the irregular body. And V1 or volume number 1 is the volume of the liquid or the water inside the cylinder. Okay, so I have two tools to measure the volume. We can use ruler and we can use graduated cylinder. Ruler to measure the volume of regular body like cube, like a book, and we can use graduated cylinder to measure the irregular body and to measure the volume of liquid things. Liquids like water, like milk, like oil, I can use graduated cylinder to measure the volume of liquid and irregular bodies. Okay, let's talk about the measuring units of the mass and the length and the volume. I can use the ton to be the unit of the large masses, the very large masses, very big masses, like petrol, like iron, like oil. This is very large masses. So the unit of very large masses is ton, Okay. Number 2, kilogram. Kilogram is the measuring unit of the large masses like vegetables, like fruits. Okay. Number 3 is gram. Gram is the measuring unit of small masses like gold, like silver. So I have 3 units to measure the mass. Number 1, ton, to measure the large or the very large masses like petrol, like oil, like iron. Number 2, kilogram is the unit or the measuring unit of large objects, large masses like vegetables and fruits. Number 3, gram. Gram is the measuring unit of the small masses like gold and silver. Now let's talk about the measuring unit of length. I have 3 measuring units to measure the length. Number 1 is kilometer. Kilometer is the measuring unit of very large lengths. Very large lengths like the distance between two cities. Distance between Cairo and Giza. Okay, number 2 is meter. Meter is the measuring unit of the large lengths. Large lengths like the door, like the table, like the wall. Okay. Number 3 is centimeter. Centimeter is the measuring unit of the small lengths. Small lengths like book, like pen, like phone. Okay, so I have 3 units to measure the length. Number 1 is kilometer to measure the very large lengths. Number 2 is meter to measure the large lengths like door, like table. Number 3 is centimeter to measure the small lenses like book and like pen and like phone. Now let's talk about the measuring unit of volume. Number one is liter. I can use the liter to be the measuring unit of liquids like water, like oil, like milk, like cola. I can use liter, okay, and I can use milliliter to measure the very small amount of liquids, okay, like perfume. Okay, number three, I can use cubic meter. Cubic meter. Cubic meter is the measuring unit of the large volumes. Okay, this law is said that volume equals length times width times height. The measuring unit of length is meter. The measuring unit of width is meter. The measuring unit of height is meter. So the volume or the measuring unit of volume equal meter times meter times meter. This is equal cubic meter. Okay? Okay. The last one, cubic centimeter. Cubic centimeter is the measuring unit of small volumes. Again, cubic centimeter is a measuring unit for small volumes. Now let's talk about the relation between the measuring units. Number one, 1 kilometer equal 1,000 meter. Number two, 1 meter equal 100 centimeters. Number three, 1 ton equal 1,000 kilograms. Number four, 1 kilogram equal 1,000 grams. Number five, 1 liter equal 1,000 milliliter and also equal 1,000 cubic centimeter.